When it comes to owning a Jeep Wrangler, there are a few things that are completely unavoidable. Things like getting caught in the rain, going on random adventures, wasting your entire paycheck on parts, getting random ducks, and on top of all that, getting the tools to perform the work that you need to spend those late nights in the garage. Now for me personally, I have tons of tools and equipment at the house that I can take care of just about anything you can possibly imagine on a Jeep Wrangler or anything like that. But I go a step above. I carry a full set of tools with me in the Jeep Wrangler at all times to really fix any issue I could run into out on the trails or on the road at any time. Now with that, I've carried a ton of different kits. I've went through many different variations, from very specific kits just to work on the Jeep Wrangler, all the way up to very general kits that can work on just about anything. But I believe today I finally found the absolute best solution, and it just happens to be the absolute most cost effective. Now, although I've put together tons of kits in the past, I've got tons of kits right now. I carry a full kit in every car, at least to work on everything I need for it. So for the Jeep Wrangler, I've got my essential tools and everything in here, some essential recovery gear, then your basic roadside assistance stuff. Now, I've put together kits in all these vehicles from different stores. So for the Jeep, we got mostly everything from Harbor Freight, and we covered that in a video. For the Bronco, we got pretty much everything from Northern Tool, and covered that in a video. We did use the Rough Country bag. So for this one, we've got recovery gear, we've got some basics for roadside assistance stuff, and then a roll-up toolkit with all the tools we need from Northern Tool primarily. And then for the lifted Camaro, we've got a pretty basic kit in here, but it covers all the bases. This is the one I drive the absolute most. So I've got basically my roadside assistance kit in here with all the normal stuff I may need, jump starters, air compressor, that kind of thing. And then I've got the Job Smart toolkit, which I've kind of tailored to make my own. So you'll see whenever we open it up here, we've got all kinds of extra stuff. But before we dive too deep into today's video, I've got to introduce you to today's video sponsor, 3W. Now, I've showed you guys some awesome 3W products that we use in the Rubicon 392, as well as the Bronco Raptor. But today, I've got to talk about the 3W liners for the Jeep Wrangler because they are running a crazy sale right now and you're not going to want to miss out. Now, just like I told you guys last time, these are laser cut and custom fit, so to say that the fitment is perfect is an understatement. But as you guys can tell, we put these things through the ringer in the Jeep Wrangler, and of course, we've got them in the rear for the Jeep Wrangler as well. One of my favorite things is not only how cool the tread pattern looks on these mats, but how well it actually holds in the dirt and debris. That way, whenever it is time for us to wash them off, it's really easy and it's all held into one place. For the Jeep Wranglers, they've also got a full rear cargo mat, which gets absolutely wrecked back here every time I use the Jeep. But this thing has stood up to the test of time, and I'm super happy that they've also added the cutouts for the hooks because I'm always strapping something down back here. 3W provides premium floor mats for Jeep vehicles like the Wrangler and Cherokee. The 3W brand also offers high-quality mats for a wide range of MPVs, SUVs, and trucks. And a lot of people may think to buy a high-quality product like this, you have to pay a crazy price. But fortunately, that's not true. Black Friday is officially on. Just click the link below and use code GODSPEEDZRZ on their official website to get 35% off. Or on Amazon, get $45 off. A huge thank you to 3W for continuing to support the channel, and if you guys are interested in getting a set for yourself, now is the time. Now, I've carried kits like the Cobalt kit for a long time. It worked pretty well for all the basics. I've also carried kits like the Pittsburgh Mechanics Toolkit set, and it's worked really well too. But what I found is each of those kits are missing something. Whenever I stepped up to the Job Smart kit, I actually stepped down in price, but up in terms of what you get. This is a 324-piece set, but one of my absolute favorite things about the Job Smart kit versus the Pittsburgh and Cobalt and other sets like it is it gives you storage to customize your kit for what you actually need to carry. So as you can see for the Camaro, I've got it customized to fit the needs of what this car is. A daily driver, I don't know what I'm going to run into, so I've got some basic stuff where I only carry 2 bags in the Camaro, no set bag for recovery. I carry some of the extra stuff I'd carry in other bags in this toolkit. So I've got the tire repair kit, I've got zip ties, I've got valve stem tools, I've got everything to do with tires, all the basic tools, knives, Allen keys, duct tape, electrical tape, different gloves, different nut certs, tons of pliers, pry bar, all kinds of stuff in this to really address anything I could run into with the Camaro. And if you guys can't tell just by looking at the Camaro, obviously we're going to run into issues with this thing at least every now and then. So to have a decent kit is super important. But if we take a step away from all of these pre-made kits, I've also ran just the old school toolbox. This is what I ran in high school. This exact toolbox filled to the brim with all kinds of random tools. I could never really find anything, but I had just about everything I needed in there. Then I ended up stepping up 2 bags like that. Basically the same tools, a few extra items depending on which car it was, and they went into those Husky bags right there. That worked pretty well for a while. Then I needed a little bit more space, so I stepped up to a bigger bag. So I've ran through all kinds of different variations of tools and tool kits, and I think I've got it figured out now. So to start putting together my ideal kit, I knew I wanted to have a strong foundation by getting a good base kit. Something I'd also learned is I like to be able to have extra storage in that same kit. So there really aren't many options available for that. Another thing I had in my mind is I wanted to be able to have the top and doors off and let rain soak those tools down and not have to worry about any issues of rust or something like that. So I knew I needed to get a waterproof case just like the JobSmart offers. So with all that in consideration, I found a really good box to start with. The Apache XL case, which has rollers on it from Harbor Freight. Now, as you can see from the price listed, it's $100. So I decided instead to go with the JobSmart toolkit to start as our base because this was actually on sale for $111. So you've heard me right, $111. You're getting the case and the 324-piece toolkit that's inside of it, which typically it's always at basically $140. So for that price, you're basically paying for the case, which is literally the exact same case at Harbor Freight for $100, which is actually a good deal on that case. That's a crazy thing to keep in mind. $100 for this case by itself is not a bad price. So all year round, you can buy this kit from Tractor Supply for $140, which is still an insane value. But whenever I saw it listed for $111, I could not pass it up. And I honestly do not believe there's a better foundation to start. But the budget I'd set up for myself was $200. So we had plenty of room in the budget to customize this to exactly what we need. So once we get it opened up here, you're gonna see I have this laid out completely different. Now I'm gonna show you all the individual parts that I've put together to make the absolute best Jeep Wrangler toolkit you could possibly imagine. But keep in mind, this has so many different tools. It's over 350 pieces once everything is put together. This could really be a good kit for any car that you possibly have, especially any off-road or four-wheel drive oriented vehicle. So keep that in mind. Now, one of the biggest reasons I really want to showcase this now is because it is on sale right now for $111, at least at the time of recording this video. I assume it will go back to $140 for this base level kit at some point, but from what I've been told, around Christmas time, you can get this exact kit for $100 or less. At that price, I think you should buy as many as you possibly can because it is an insane deal. But to get started on what we actually have here to make it a little more customized, one thing I've found that helps a lot is putting some microfibers on top of the tools to keep everything together, especially if you don't have it packed to the brim. And yes, this is not packed to the absolute top. It does still have more space. So to start, we got a microfiber here, a microfiber there. Of course, you got to get some zip ties. So I got some zip ties from Harbor Freight at some point. A lot of this stuff I had in other kits, but I did look up the price on all of it just so we could verify. Also got some leather gloves because leather gloves are super important if you're working on a hot vehicle. That way you can reach around the exhaust, the engine, whatever the case may be. You can get a set of leather gloves just like this for $5 at Harbor Freight. Moving beyond that, just the basics. I like to have 2 fixed screwdrivers, a Phillips and a flathead. This is a Quinn set. Now, if you're just going to be carrying 2 screwdrivers like I do, then you want to get 2 good ones. These were $5 whenever you put them together. So something to keep in mind. Of course, you've got to have some electrical tape. So electrical tape is an absolute must. You can get these with coupons at Harbor Freight for $1 a piece. Insane deal. We got a tape measure. This tape measure actually came from another kit, but I do have a Harbor Freight one that I got for $2, so you can get those. Got a set of vice grip pliers. These are super important for just random situations. If you need to hold a line together, if you need to hold something out of the way, super important. Everybody knows these are useful. Also carry a pair of robo grips. So these are just channel locks that are adjusting. They self-adjust. So they make things a little bit easier if you're in a hard to reach place or something like that. Then we got a traditional set of channel locks, the medium size right here. Perfect for most of the stuff you're going to run into. I also got a set of pliers from Harbor Freight. This is just a random Pittsburgh set that was like $15. It came with tons of them. We don't have all the Pittsburgh ones in this kit. You can see I've switched some of those out for other ones that are more useful for this kit, but about $14 for that set in general. a traditional set of lineman pliers here. And then instead of carrying wire cutters and needle nose, I like this tool from Ironton. It's, I think, $10 for this tool by itself, but it's basically $10 to get a set of needle nose and wire cutters. So this is a really good all-in-one tool to help save a little bit of space. Once we move past that, of course, we got a ball peen hammer. You have to have a ball peen hammer. It's just something that is a requirement for any vehicle toolkit. I've also got a rubber mallet with different ends on here, so we're able to use this and not mar up anything if we need to hit something on the Jeep, get it back into place. As you can tell, this has been useful even out on the trails. Moving past that, I also got a 10-inch extension. Now, this is not a Pittsburgh 10-inch extension. You can get them in kits for $9. It comes with this and 3 other sizes, but if you get it individually, it's a good price too. Something that I believe is an absolute requirement for a bigger vehicle or four-wheel drive in general, you gotta have a breaker bar. This is an 18-inch Pittsburgh breaker bar. It fits perfectly in this little toolkit here. We got plenty of space, and whenever you need to take even something as simple as your lug nuts off, if they're torqued down there, you're not gonna be able to get them with a traditional 1/2-inch wrench. So having a breaker bar is an absolute must. These are only $14 at Harbor Freight. After that, I carry a crowbar because they're helpful for tons of situations to use them. Not really as they're designed to be used, but as a pry tool, as anything. So these are $7 at Harbor Freight. I also carry a 12-inch crescent wrench. So for this, I mean, this covers all the bases for pretty much any bolt you need to get around or any nut you need to get around. This is a really old one, but I've used it for forever. I carry at least one this size in all my kits. Most of your traditional kits that you get, even the Job Smart kit, does not come with one this big. At least I don't remember it coming with one this big. I haven't even opened this kit yet because we're going to go through it together. But you can get these for about $7 at Harbor Freight for their Pittsburgh version. And then moving past that, the only other thing I have in here that did not come with the kit is actually this little pry tool. This is super helpful on Jeeps because there's tons of little fasteners and stuff that you need to get behind. Once we finally get past that, this is what is included in the Job Smart kit. Now, believe it or not, this kit actually came with more than what is being shown right here. I took some of it out. Some of it is repetitive and not really useful for a vehicle toolkit. So I don't think you need all of it. Some stuff with all of these kits, no matter which brand you get, is kind of just going to be filler tools to add up the numbers. Really and truly, this says it's a 324-piece kit. It's probably closer to a 280-piece kit of useful tools. It may even be less than that, but it is nice that it gives you just about everything you need. Now, do not get me wrong, even the stuff that it comes with that I don't think is useful for my application is useful for other applications, so you can still use those tools around the house. You can put them in other kits or do something else with them, but I will grab those and show you what this kit came with in its entirety so we can see the full picture. So this is what the kit came with in its entirety. Now, some of the things that I took out are going to be their mini combination wrench set. This is their standard set. I also took out their mini combination wrench set for their metric set. It's just too little of stuff that I'll need on the trail or on the road. I also took out a ton of the nut drivers, nut cert tools, because for me, I just do not typically use these, especially not for the application we need it for right now. I did keep this 3 rows of nut cert tools. So I've got all the Phillips, and then I've got a 1/4 inch attachment. I've got the flat heads that I'll need. I've got more of the Phillips. And then I've also got some Allen keys and 2 extra of the T-bits. There's actually 4, because I've got these Torx bits right here that go T40s. All the other sizes of Torx below it. Now you'll see in this kit I actually don't need all these, but it's just nice to have. They don't take up much space. So all these are definitely staying in the kit here. Additionally, it also comes with 2 sets of full-size combination wrenches. And they also come with these nice bags as well. Now this is the standard set. And it's also got the nut cert tool right here, which I do need. Glad that I saw that to take it out. So all these are going in the we don't need pile. To continue with what we do need, this is their set of metric combination wrenches. It goes from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You've got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 with no skips in there. So it covers all the bases of what you'll need. What I do like about this kit is it does come with 18. None of the other kits that we've even looked at came with full-size combination wrenches like these. So having this that comes with metric and standard is an absolute big bonus. I mean, it's massive. You don't realize how big of a difference it makes till you need to put a wrench on something that you can't put any of your sockets on because you don't have enough space. So this kit gets an A+ just for having that alone. But as you'll see, this kit continues to impress all the way through. Now after that, it comes with, I believe, a 20-piece set of SAE hex keys. So on this is just a standard set of hex keys. I really don't need to carry the standard set on the Jeep. I basically use metric for everything. So we do have a 20-piece set of metric. It comes with every size you're actually going to need, all the way up to 8 millimeter, and it's got up to 6 millimeter long. So it covers all the bases here. Once we move past that, we're going to get into the real bread and butter of this kit and what I think makes this kit stand above all the others. Now on the first layer right here, this is going to be for all of our 1/4-inch stuff, and they've got a little plastic guard to keep everything in place. They've got little screws that hold them in here, and obviously the packaging is phenomenal with this kit. You'd think with a super cheap kit you wouldn't get any decent packaging. I mean, even with the Cobalt and Harbor Freight or Pittsburgh options, the packaging is not as good as this. But it really doesn't even make sense how this is in the price range that it is. So to get started off here, of course, we've got a little 1/4-inch ratchet. You can hear it there. It's not the tightest ratchet in the world, but needless to say, it is going to work. And I am happy to say that whenever I bought the last kit, I was in the process of lifting all 3 of the vehicles I've shown you. And throughout that process, basically of 3 months of lifting all those cars, I really did put a lot of these tools to the test as much as I could. And I was super impressed by the quality, performance, and really the reliability of these tools. They did not feel that bad, even if you compare any of these ratchets to, you know, a $50 or $100 ratchet. These feel decent. They're definitely on par with Pittsburgh quality. Aside from that, we've got a tiny crescent here, which is super nice for all the inconvenient stuff you need to get to. So for this side over here, you're going to see we've got 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. We've got 1/2 inch all the way down to 5/32 for deep well. And for our shallow sockets, we've got 12 down to 4. And they've even got half sizes. So you got 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. Then from standard, you got from 3/8 all the way down to 5/32. So you've got a lot of your bases covered. Going beyond that, this kit really steps it up because you've got 3 different extensions here, 3 different sizes that actually stay in place, which is not common with extensions and kits like this. You've also got an adapter to go from 1/4-inch up to 3/8. So it's nice to have that little adapter. Then you've also got a swivel adapter here, so it'll swivel and get into place if you need to hit a bolt at a weird angle. So these things are not common in all kits, but it is more common in some of the nicer or more inclusive kits. But for just little 1/4-inch stuff, this is a really nice level. But that's not it. Of course, we've got more than that. Once we move to the next tray here, what you're going to see is we've got our 3/4-inch stuff. Starting from the bottom here, we've got from 6 millimeter up to 16 millimeter for our shallow well. We've also got some really nice stuff to see in here. So we've got our Allen key heads right here. They go from 1/8 to 3/8. And then you've got our T-bits here that go from T50 down to T40. Like I showed you with those nutserts, I've got all the other sizes I'll need below that. And then we've also got 7 up to 10 for our Allen keys. Now these are super helpful. I've even used these on the impacts just to test the quality, and I have had no issues with them at all. So I've been super impressed by that. Moving beyond that, we've got some standard sockets right here. These are going to be our bigger sizes all the way up to 13/16. And then here you'll see that we start our deep well stuff. Now we have our spark plug sockets here, 13/16, 5/8. You'll see we have another adapter right here to go from 3/8 up to 1/2 inch. We've got an extension. We've got another extension. We've got a swivel head right here, same as you saw with the 1/4-inch. Then we get down to our deep wells. So for our deep wells here, we've got all the way down to 6, all the way up to 16 millimeters, so it covers pretty much all the bases there. Now it's the same thing for this ratchet right here. It's a good size, it has no padding, and all these do come pre-oiled, so nothing in here is going to rust up or mess up just sitting, but it is definitely good to go ahead and wipe them down once you get them. But you can see right here, just another normal wrench, a pretty traditional size head here, nothing crazy. Very, very similar as to Pittsburgh. So you'll see that as a commonality throughout this entire kit. And something really cool that's true with this kit and not many others is you can see, you can actually hold this kit upside down, shake it around, nothing's coming out. It's actually all really good placement, so you don't have to worry about just throwing your stuff in and it all being in a different place by the time you open it up. You can see here, all this stuff is not going anywhere. Now moving on to the last level of this kit, you're going to see this is everything we need for our 1/2 inch stuff. So the way that this is set up, we've got our full 1/2 inch ratchet right here. We've got a massive extension. which I completely forgot it came with this big of an extension in this little kit. This is a 10-inch extension, so I really don't even need to carry that extra one. And aside from that, of course, we got our swivel. We got an adapter to go from 1/2 inch down to 3/8. And then we've got another extension here. Now for sizes on 1/2 inch, it does cover most of your bases, but this is the part I would add that if you do need other sockets to cover just random sizes, maybe you want to carry a socket for your axle nut. Maybe you want to carry a socket for something else, some frame bolts, or something that this does not offer. Make sure you recognize that before you need it. This kit goes up to 21 millimeters in terms of standard, so it really does cover most of the bases of all the normal stuff you're going to run into on the Jeep Wrangler, but there are a few exceptions, so I may throw in a couple of those extra sockets I know that I have used in a worst case scenario. But to cover the bases here for our deep well, we've got 15 up to 21 millimeters. For our standard set, we've got from 9/16 up to 7/8. And then you've got a 13/16 down here, a 3/4, and then you've got your shallow well sockets. So for the metric sizes, it's going to go up to 22 millimeters. Then it's going to have the inverse of the standard sizes. So really and truly, to get a base level kit like this that's only $111 on sale, or even at its full regular price of $140, this is a great foundation to start with. So it comes with everything that you're really going to need, at least for a base level kit, and then you can add on top of that. So really important for me is being able to add the specialty tools that I may need, the extra sockets, the extra wrenches, pliers, hammers, all that stuff. And this kit really gives you the ability to customize it and tailor it however you want, and for an absolutely killer price. But now that we've went over everything that's included in this JobSmart kit, once you throw that with the other items that I've already shown you guys that is going to be in this kit, it's absolutely insane to see what all you can get packaged together in one single box for under $200. I added all this stuff up here, and it ended up being a grand total of $199. And one big thing I haven't even mentioned yet is, yes, this toolkit is cheap, but it does have a lifetime guarantee on this kit. And just having a lifetime guarantee on a product that's only $111 for 324 pieces is absolutely insane. Every time I'm building a specific kit for a vehicle like the Jeep Wrangler or for the Bronco, I'm always trying to keep in mind what the competition could be and what are the options there are that are available. So for the Jeep Wrangler, Mopar actually offers a toolkit that is 83 pieces, I believe, in total. And for it, it really does cover pretty much all the bases of things that you should need, aside from some minor things. But for the most part, it covers it all for this specific vehicle. That toolkit is traditionally over $400, no matter where you're looking at it for. I have seen it on sale for a little bit less at a few places in the past, but keep in mind, I just showed you a kit that's over 350 pieces, fully customized to however I want to tailor it. It's going to work for this vehicle, it's going to work for the Bronco Raptor, and it's going to work for the Camaro, not just one specific vehicle, and we did all that for $200. So if you could put together two of those kits for the price of one of those Mopar kits, I think that it would serve you really well, especially whenever you keep in mind the idea behind this entire kit is that I have tools with me in the car. This is not to replace any of my tools here at home, although I use cheaper brand stuff at home too, and I've had good luck with it. I'm not wrenching every single day, all day long. It's typically just a few nights a week. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy Snap-on tools to keep in the back of your car and hopefully never use. Granted, I do use mine more than I wish I had to in the vehicle, but you're not going to be using these all the time. Typically, if something does break out on the trail, I use 1, 2, maybe 3 of these tools out of this entire kit. I get it back home, and then I work on it with my actual tools. So that's the whole point behind this. And to be fair, if somebody steals my entire toolkit out of the back of my Jeep because I have the top, the doors off, whatever the case may be, I'm not really going to be that upset if they stole a $200 kit. Now, if this was all Snap-on, if this was all Matco, if this was all Milwaukee, anything like that, you're talking about thousands of dollars here. So for the price, absolutely unbeatable. And if you guys can think of any other options that you think may be better, drop them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to go out, buy them, test them, and compare them head to head. On all my time of testing out completely different toolkits, whether it be toolkits like this that are pre-made, toolkits I've put together, building my own garage setup at the house, or just another toolkit off the shelf, I truly believe that the JobSmart offers a better foundation than any other kit you can find anywhere close to the price. If this just had a different brand name on it, I promise you they would sell it for $350 to $400. The box alone, I can't emphasize that enough, is worth $100. So if you are looking for a good foundation for a kit, especially for a Jeep Wrangler where you might have the top off, or a Bronco, something like that, I don't think you can go wrong with starting off with that kit and then making your own modifications and getting it customized the way that I have or the way that you would like. Now, if you guys are interested in seeing any more of these toolkits I've shown you in better depth, I'll have all those videos linked down in the description below. Like I said, we built toolkits for all these vehicles and I've covered those in really good depth, and we've also compared them to pretty much everything. So if you're interested in all that, check them out down below. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed.